All right, Nick, as we all know, some may be shocked by the decision to fire Matt Canada in season. Some are wondering why it has taken thus long, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're talking about today is the new interim offensive coordinator for the Steelers, and that's Eddie Faulkner. And he had some interesting words to say about his thoughts on the new Steelers offense and kind of his plan of what to do to get it to the place it needs to be. I think there's really a deeper meaning to this, almost as if what Matt Canada didn't do to get for the Steelers offense. So let's get into the article. We can kind of talk about it on the other side. This, of course, is from over on All Steelers on Fan Nation. It says, Faulkner, the Steelers running back coach since 2019, said his biggest goal is to take what he's done with the running back room and implement it into running the offense. That starts with organization. I'm a detail guy. That's how I operate, Faulkner said. And that's how I have to operate. That is how I have to operate. And that's how I have to operate in running the running back room. So that's how I'm going to operate anything that has to do with the offense or with our staff. To make sure we're squeezing down, we're tightening up, we're closing on the space so we get into a game and these guys can execute, play fast. That is the focus. So it seems, Nick, like this is the approach he wants to take with the offense. He wants to tighten things up. He wants things to go smoother. He wants things to go faster. Almost as if Matt Canada really wasn't a guy who had it all together. It wasn't as detail-oriented as Faulkner wants to be. Now, I'm not saying that Faulkner is a guy. We haven't really seen what he's able to do yet. But I'm saying we kind of already see a change in somebody who thinks that there's just a few simple things that this offense can change to really get it going. I'm curious, though, what your thoughts are on all of this, Nick. But before we get there, Steelers fans, we have a big game this weekend. Bengals, Joe Burrow out. This could be a really big chance to get a win, get things back on track. So let us know in the comments below, what do you think the score of the Steelers-Bengals game will be in the comments below. But Nick, what do you have on the Steelers and the new words by Faulkner?
I think there's a couple of things to realize and understand is that anytime you have a new offensive coordinator or a new play caller mid-season, it's not like you're throwing out the playbook. It's not like you're throwing out the plays and coming up with new terminology. You don't have time to install a new offense, right? You'd almost have to go through an entire offseason program and a new training camp to bring up a new offense, new play calls, things like that. Now, the good news for the Steelers is that what the Steelers were running offensively was general NFL stuff. It's not like they were running some kind of crazy spread offense that was a total debacle. And now they're trying to do something completely different. They're running a standard 2023 NFL offense in terms of play calls and structures and things like that. They just needed to execute better. And I think being more focused on the details and getting things buttoned up is the exact perfect approach. And I do think you hit the nail on the head. The fact that Faulkner is saying this, that he's very detail oriented and that's his focus, cleaning things up, things like that, is an indicator, I think a pretty obvious one, that Matt Canada was none of those things. And look, we saw it on the field, right? This is a team that has talent. We know they've got great wide receivers. Offensive line is getting a little bit better. Broderick Jones has been continuing to be a really good player. Dan Moore Jr. is kind of a liability at times, but overall a decent offensive line, good tight ends, good running backs, right? They have enough talent on offense to put up a lot more in the passing game than they are. Because right now, Mize, there's only one team in the entire NFL that's averaging fewer yards per passing than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that is the New York Giants, who are starting an undrafted rookie at quarterback right now. Not in if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they shouldn't be there. The talent isn't there. I think that, or the talent is there, excuse me. I think being focused on the details and getting these guys to play fast is exactly what they need. Because you got a guy like in Pickens, there's no reason Pickens, when healthy, can't get 100 yards receiving about per game on average. Johnson's a nice player too. Pickett should average a lot more throwing the football than he does. I think it's clearly a mental thing, not a physical thing, and kind of removing some of those roadblocks, focusing on the finer points of the game and playing fast is exactly what the Steelers need. And look, this is the right time to do it because, like you said, Myers, are heading into essentially a must-win game against the Bengals team without Joe Burrow. And I think this is a real chance for the Steelers offense to really break out. And look, we all know it, right? They don't have to be the 1999 Rams or anything like that. They just have to not be terrible. If the Steelers offense isn't terrible, they're a playoff team. What are your thoughts on right now everything with Pittsburgh, looking at their schedule and their situation? Do you think this team has a real chance to turn around with Faulkner running the offense now?
Yeah, and one thing in particular brings me a little bit of hope. I'm hoping that Faulkner, being the running back guy, can come in and kind of help Najee Harris turn things around, kind of help Jalen Warren get moving. We've seen Warren, he's been good, but I think they're underutilizing these guys, and they can really upgrade the running attack by using that rushing attack. They can open up the pass. Because what are the two things we've heard? Well, Najee Harris has a bad year, doesn't look like the same guy, yada yada. They haven't been utilizing him the same way they need to. Now, what are the other things we see? We don't see the passes to Pickens. We don't see the long ball. We don't see them pass the ball in the middle of the field. This is some of the basic stuff that you need to do on offense to get it going. So I think really Faulkner has a pretty easy job to come in here and at least show people that he's trying. You just got to do the things people have been saying for the past 3 years that Matt Canada hasn't been doing. Just implement those things into your game, and I think we're going to see a big difference because, as you alluded to, a lot of young players, especially on the offensive line, there's some stuff that's going on good there. There's some good young players on this offense. I think you just need to try to get them the ball, and I think Steelers fans will be happy, I don't know if Faulkner is going to be the guy for head coach. Probably not, but for right now, excuse me, I said head coach, offensive coordinator. I don't think he's going to be the long-term guy necessarily, but the Steelers do like to promote from within. So if he does good, if he does thing that the fans have been asking for and they see a mild success in that manner, I think he has a pretty good shot here, and I think the Steelers offense can be much, much better than they have been this season.